twisted
Do you have
with
the ball band?
well, I don't know. It's your job to look after ball bands.
I would have shoved it inside there.
Does anybody want hand-knit socks?
I did not.
I'll knit you some socks.
I did not
roll
do
up,
that.
Roll up. I need a wee.
Holidays.
Is this the ball band?
Yeah.
I collect these. Can I have them?
Get off my ball band. And I was thinking about one of the sort of younger members of... Look at my humongous needles.
Yeah, I know.
They're ginormous.
I know.
What's that?
Did you know I was there?
Oh, I can't
Ready?
do it.
Come on.
I can't do it. I wear contact lenses. It doesn't work. I have to blink.
I'll just get my coffee moustache off. Hello!
Hello.
That was quite loud in Kay's ear.
It was a bit loud in
I'm
my
sorry.
ear.
Especially for Mrs. Clubbing Tinnitus Lady.
Do you know, he goes on about this all the time as if I spent like 10 years clubbing when I was younger.
It was just the 1 year.
I didn't. I spent about 2 years, like you do, between 18, well, maybe 17 and, 19, going to nightclubs because that's what you did. And it's left me with tinnitus.
And the funny thing is, I only ever went nightclubbing once, and the girl who I met, I married.
So clearly he's never going to do that again.
So I've decided that I should stay out of nightclubs.
That's probably as wise. That's the last time I was in a nightclub as well.
Okay, so we should both stay out of nightclubs.
So that would have been 2003 was the last time I was in a nightclub.
My one and only
And
time.
I can't say I enjoyed it actually.
What do you mean?
Apart from you being there, obviously. But this is just so loud, isn't it?
You join us at a moment of great excitement, because at no point in the history of us podcasting have I ever podcasted with hair as long as this.
It's driving him doolally.
And you may look and think, but it's so short. I did manage to style it today in such a way.
Such a way that it's not annoying. And I did trim these bits. Because
And the back.
we should explain, our hairdresser cancelled. Well, she didn't cancel. She was
ill.
She was unwell last week.
So she couldn't come.
So she couldn't come. She comes to the house. She's freelance.
So she's coming on
And
Monday.
she was going to be
Isn't
here
she?
for a
Tell
long
me she
time.
is.
She is coming on Monday. She was going to be here a long time because I'm getting a colour, and we didn't want to. She was really unwell. We didn't
Kay's
want to
going
do
pink.
that. Pink.
No, she's really
That'd be
not.
good. So we said, don't worry, we'll rearrange it. And you were going to go and get it cut in town, but
But I
then
can't
you're
do
like,
it. I can't bring myself to do it.
He's a person of habit.
It's like I'm being unfaithful.
Yeah, so I just trimmed your sidey bits just to keep you a little bit calm.
And I'm counting down the minutes.
Yeah, he is.
To our hairdresser's arrival. But that's not the only exciting thing that's been going on. Kay will not let me show this in What's Off Your Needles. And it's fair really, because it's a swatch.
Oh, the
And
swatch.
It's not really
It's
off
your
your
second
needles, is
swatch,
it?
actually, isn't it?
I did 2 swatches.
Yeah.
Here is my second swatch. I am, of course, going to be making the Irish coffee by Thea Cowl. It is Rowan Aran.
It is Rowan Pure Wool Aran, which, as I said last time, is discontinued, but I found some.
This isn't what she found. This is
No,
something that she had instead.
That was the ball I had in.
She let me knit it up, and it came out rather lovely. So much nicer than the Cascade 220.
Yeah, you didn't care for the Cascade 220, did you?
No.
And I like it,
That's
so
fine.
it just shows you, doesn't it?
Just cool.
Yeah.
That, though, is a work of... It's wonderful stuff.
It's lovely stuff.
It's wonderful stuff. And here is...
So look, there's the colour. Isn't it lovely? I think the colour was called Antique Red. It's colourway number 693 if you ever want to try and track some down on D-stashes or whatever. And it's a lovely shade of red. Real, and I think it will be nice on me. Do you think it will be okay on my... I think it's a good colour.
Yes.
So, you haven't cast on yet because I said to you yesterday...
I have lots on the go, to be honest, and I want to get a couple of things off before I cast that.
Yeah, and we both had... we were both
I need to
kind
make
of
sure
busy,
I catch
weren't we?
you
But
up
we need
in the Baker Bears Handmade Christmas before I cast down.
I said to him, we need to really just sit down and look at the pattern, so I can go through it with you.
It's not difficult. There's only 94 stitches.
He said, he read the first 2 lines, it's like, cast on X number of stitches. He said,
I've done
that's
more than that
okay.
with a cowl.
That's not many. I said, yeah, that's the neck.
I'll just knit the neck.
There's going to be many more.
That's fine. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the advanced cables and all the bits and pieces.
I think you'll do a brilliant job.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
But momentous day, and I would be fibbing if I said I wasn't a tiny bit nervous. I'm nervous for two reasons. We're doing something brand new, which we've been planning for a long time.
We have.
And I'm also nervous because the producers have not bothered to tell us what... Oh, what's this?
Uh-oh.
Kay, would you like to do the honours?
Shall I read it?
Yes, please.
Right. Dear Dan, Kay and Bryony, welcome to your brand new quest. We are sending you on a journey across your county. Clues will guide you to your destinations, and on completion of a task, you will win your reward. You will visit some places you know, but also discover new ones. You think you know the history of your region? Let's find out.
What's this?
Do we have to go right now?
What?
Do we have to go right now?
Do we?
I don't know, do we?
We do.
Right now?
They're nodding their heads and saying yes.
Right, okay.
This is crazy.
Let's do it.
Okay. Bryony.
Let's go, Bryony.
Let's go. We need some maps.
Get your maps.
Where's the...
Bryony, put your coat on.
We'll grab that one. We'll grab that one.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. So. Yes. Okay, let's get back. Right, so we're underway, and I think now's the time to open the first clue, because the adventure starts when we open clue number 1. So we're moving, so we're making the most of every possible moment. So do you want to open the first clue?
Clue number 1.
And I've got a buzz flashing me through. Go on. It's all action here.
Oh, it is. In ancient times, follow the road where deer, spelt D-E-R-E, and D is capitalised, would roam.
D-E-R-E?
Yeah, Rome as in Italy. Deer Street.
Right.
Deer Street is a Roman road.
Yes. And it's not far.
Right.
So I'm going to make my way to Deer Street, but we need to know that Deer Street actually runs from the Midlands right the way up to Scotland. The Roman invasion of Britain began properly in 43 AD under this man, Aulus Plautius, who became the first Roman governor of our island. As the Romans marched across the country, they built roads. It took them 40 years to reach Scotland, and the road they built to get them north was called Deer Street. So we need to try and nail down, what's the next bit?
Along its route you'd find a place to stay. Return to Morbium.
But you'll find a place to stay.
Find a place to stay.
So...
What's Morbium?
Well, we need to work that out. Morbium will be an ancient place name, because I've never heard of that before.
Okay.
So it'll be the ancient name for something, possibly the Roman name for something, because you've mentioned Rome already, haven't you?
It looks like a Roman name and it's capitalised.
Right, okay. So find a place to stay. So
is it like a hotel or...
But we're talking in ancient times, aren't we?
An inn? No.
Well, I don't even think there was inns in Roman times.
Where did they stay?
What's the last bit?
And chart the distance of the brook that blocks your way. So there's a brook, a stream.
There's only one place I can think of that could be.
Where's that?
Brook that blocks your way.
Well, the only crossing that I can think of on Deer Street, I can only think of 3 crossings in the whole of the country, and I'm not aware of any others on Deer Street. It's Piercebridge. As the Romans moved across Great Britain, like any invading army, they needed places to stay after a long day's march. They didn't just put these places anywhere, they chose specific strategic points like river crossings to build their forts. This is all that remains of the fort which we discovered in episode 18, which I've linked in the show notes if you want to take a closer look. It must be Piercebridge Roman Bridge.
Roman Bridge.
See if you can find, it's got on there the English names,
Right.
and it's got on the ancient names too.
So we've only got an hour to do this.
Yeah, but I think we'll do it in well under that. I think we're good to go. They've been kind to us on the first clue, I think. But that is, of course, if we're in the right place. How are you doing, Cowl?
Hang on, more. Oh, I found it. More
What is it?
Piercebridge.
Yes! So we're right.
You got it right.
Yeah.
I found it. Yeah.
Okay, so it is onward then to Piercebridge. What do we have to do when we get there?
Chart the distance of the brook that blocks your way.
The thing that we're going to, the Roman ruins, the river's not there anymore. It's moved.
Oh, that's right.
So all we need to do then
Just find the
think-
river.
no, we don't need to find the river.
Measure the distance from one side of the bridge to the other.
Yes,
Right.
but how are we going to do that?
I've no idea. We're not.
We
got a
could
tape
do
measure.
like footsteps.
I have.
Footsteps.
In that genius idea.
This is what we did at school when we were going
Because
around
isn't your
the
foot
table.
like 12 inches? Or no? Well, your foot's 12 inches.
But mine is.
Yeah.
What's mine?
12.5 inches.
So I could go. So your knowledge of my sock is going to enable us.
Well, your foot is about a foot.
Right. Now let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the Romans knew how to build roads. This was built by the marching army of Agricola in about 80 AD. 2016, nearly 2,000 years on from when they built this road, and we're still using it. We are arriving now, and I have to park in the pub. So that's the route down, and I'm going to park in this pub car park. It always struck me as weird, this.
Everybody seems to do it.
Yeah, well, English Heritage say on their site, and
Parking, it is. It
yeah.
just saying for the bridge.
There's the camera woman. Come on, let's go. And here it is, folks, and it is utterly mesmerising, actually, and I don't know why that is. Of all the Roman ruins that we visit, there's not a massive amount to see, but what there is really takes you back, because you've got the proper square blocks there, carved by the Roman legionaries when they were building this bridge to cross what was a raging torrent of a river. We're now looking straight across, straight down Deer Street up towards Scotland. This is what the bridge would have looked like. The Romans were quite adept at building bridges. They would use a number of different ways of doing it. If you look online, you'll actually find pictures of them when they needed a temporary bridge. They would use boats. They would sail boats in next to each other, and then they would lay the bridge over the top. But this was a proper bridge for their marching army. And just imagine what this would have looked like. Just imagine that's Agricola at the front. He's leading the army north. To the native Celts, they would have looked absolutely terrifying. But today is about finding out how clever those Roman engineers were. They'd marched north, they'd have been tired, but the general leading them would have demanded a bridge to cross the river. And how far did he have to make that bridge? Let's find out. This bridge was actually built in 320 AD. The original bridge is actually over there, it's further up. And as we spoke about in the car, the course of the river over the last 2,000 years, as rivers have a tendency to do, has moved. So the river is now all the way over there, which means here, this bridge here, there's no river running underneath it.
Oh,
so this must be, mustn't it, the brook that blocks our way?
I'd say so.
Don't you think?
Yeah,
well, I would say.
I think you can only
Because we would be actually stood in water, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would. There was there's actually another pier underneath there which they didn't take out. You know, a pier is the stone thing which the bridge was on
So
top
it goes from that one there over to that one
It
there.
does. Yeah. So, I mean, I think I'd probably need to get up to that tree line.
Right.
So,
Well, the top of the bank there.
so shall I start up there then?
Yeah, I would.
Crumbs.
'Cause
So I need to-
if it's under there, he's running. Careful. Yeah. Are you counting?
You look ridiculous. You there, yeah.
Right, look around. There's got to be a clue somewhere. Get it! There it is!
Bryonys there!
Yes!
Oh, she's got gloves. She's
So
got.
we've done the first one. Who do I look
She
like?
got gloves on.
An idiot.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so we are back in the car. We're now, because of the exertion, producing steam, which is steaming me up, so I'm going to have to turn.
Look at the.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, you're 60 minutes ago when you fight the barbarian. I fought the barbarian a minute ago. So 9:43. So we're doing brilliant for time here.
Success you found in measuring this ancient bed.
Okay, sorry,
That's
second line.
The second line. But why did Romans build this fort at all? So Piercebridge Roman fort, why did they build it?
Romans built forts to do normally one thing, and that was guard against something.
The Scottish.
We're too far away at the moment.
Too far away.
This was a crossing. This was a crossing before the Romans arrived.
Right.
So it was a major point of, people coming and going.
Yeah.
So it was an important place to control. But who were they protecting it against? What's the next line?
Seek out the home where Brigantes tread.
The Brigantes lived, and they had. There's a fort, isn't there? It's got to be. Do you remember we went to? It's Stanek, isn't it?
Oh, right.
And there's a big wall there.
Right.
Do you remember I stood at the bottom and took a picture of you and Bryony waving down at me?
Vaguely.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I don't, but.
That's an enormous
sounds
wall.
exciting.
Right.
It's got, and that was the Brigantes
So
capital.
it doesn't mean Hadrian's Wall.
Well, it can't do, can it?
No.
Because it's talking
We're
about
too far away from Hadrian's Wall.
and it's also talking about the Brigantes.
Right.
So
So we need to go to Stanek.
we need
Is
to go
that
to
what we
Stanek
think?
Iron Age fort.
Well, that's
so
not far away.
it's not far at all. It's just down the road. So we're making our way back along Deer Street, and we know our next mission. We've got to find Stanek Iron Age fortifications and look for a huge wall. When the Romans arrived in 43 AD, the country was inhabited by tribes of Celts. One of the biggest and potentially most dangerous were the Brigantes, and their capital city, filled with their circular homes, was Stanek. This, of course, was one of the main reasons they built Piercebridge, to keep the locals in check. Our problem is I can't remember where it is. So, I'm not really sure where we are. I mean, this might be Oldborough.
It is.
Right, did you see a sign?
Yeah.
And look, it's beautiful.
Why does this remind me of a place?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, Stanek Inn. I mean, this is ringing bells. It's...
We've been here before. I can't think why.
And I remember that this is quite a tricky place to find. We went down there.
Did we?
No, I don't think I have one. I think we're really close now.
So what do we have to do?
This is really feeling familiar. I feel like...
Are you going to come back?
Yes! Oh my goodness!
Phew.
What an adventure!
Wow.
And we've been so lucky with the weather so far.
I know.
Now, I am slightly concerned though, because it is definitely getting greyer.
It is.
So who knows what's going to happen in part 2. And the worrying thing for me is I have no clue where we're going.
No.
It's not a particularly widely visited site.
No, it's not at all.
But perhaps it might be if there was a car park and a...
Well, that's it. That you just have to park on the road, you know, and it's just this little lane.
Well, remember that
I will remember.
when we go back.
Yeah.
I think, though, we should find out. After all, this is a knitting podcast.
It is.
Kay Jones, what is that huge thing that's on your needles?
There's a huge thing on my needles.
On ginormous wooden needles?
Ginormous needles.
Your needles are ginormous.
I am knitting something for the handmade Christmas along. I've cast on I suddenly had a thought about this the other day. I was thinking about one of the sort of younger members of our family, and she always wears, do you know how teenagers wear these huge cowls, you know, the massive oversized ones, and she always wears this one whenever we see her. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to knit her one of these cowls. So I remembered the Gaptastic cowl pattern, which there are a gazillion projects of this on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. So it's the Gaptastic cowl. And basically it's just this huge moss stitch. I would call it moss stitch, but I know some people call it seed stitch cowl. And it's knit with bulky yarn. So I thought, I'm absolutely going to do this. I think it'll be a super fun project. It's a Christmas gift. I'll be adding to my score.
You totally will. I was just thinking that, actually.
Yeah. Getting the yarn was not challenging, but the pattern calls for Lion Brand Woolies Chunky. Now you can get this from Love Knitting. I had a look and you can get it. However, there's like a 10-day wait. I think it's one of the ones that comes from the US. And I didn't want to wait 10 days to start it. Plus, it does have some wool in it, that one. I think it's 20 or 25% wool. And I was just a bit bothered about, I didn't know whether that was going to be itchy or, you know, I'd never felt the yarn. So I was reluctant to do that. So I went looking around and it says it's chunky. However, I think it's more of a like super chunky because the yardage is basically 100 yards for 100 grams. So I just went looking for that yardage on a yarn and I found exactly that yardage. It's a Stylecraft yarn and it's called Weekender Super Chunky. So that's the yarn. And again, I think I got it from Love Knitting. It was either Love Knitting or Wool Warehouse. It was one of those. But I think it's quite easily, you know, obtainable. It is 100% acrylic, but it is premium acrylic. And actually it's lovely. It's really nice and soft. You know, I just wanted something that, you know, because, you know, teenagers with makeup and perfume, it's going to get flung in the washing machine quite often. So I wanted something completely okay to do that with. And the colour I'm using is the clay colour. And I bought 3 balls because that's what the pattern calls for. It's about 300 yards. And I've wound them all into these ginormous cakes. So this is the yarn and the colour. And it's a lovely colour, actually. It's a really pretty neutral. It does have a little shine to it. But it's not squeaky or anything like that. It's very nice. If you've ever knit or crocheted with the Stylecraft, what's it called? The Stylecraft yarn that everybody uses for blankets. You know which one I mean. The DK version. It's really soft like that. It's really, really nice. It's knit on 9mm needles. So of course I bought a fixed circular Knit Pro Harmonies. Look at the size of those. It's probably not transferring just how big they are. But they're lovely needles. I didn't want metal. I thought they'd be too heavy just with the size of the needle. You know, it's really big. I've not done bad, really. Oh, it's so nice.
Oh, you have done well.
It's lovely, isn't it? And I think that's about 4 inches, something like that. 3.5, 4 inches.
Oh, no, that take 5 minutes.
No, it took 2 sessions of knitting on it. And that was probably each. I think the first time I spent about 1.5 hours, the second time, because that included the cast on, which took quite a while. And then the second time was about an hour, I think. So, you know, really super fast. And I didn't have a stitch marker big enough to go over the 9mm needle, as you can imagine. So I'm just using a loop of wool as my stitch marker, which works perfectly fine. It's just literally moss stitch, knit one, purl one, all the way around, which some people might find a bit tedious. I don't mind it at all.
Just the whole way?
Yeah, it's just knit one, purl, knit one, purl. I don't mind it at all. And once you kind of get into the rhythm of it, I think it's fine. And I think this will now become, because I've finished something else, this will now become my bedtime knitting, I think.
Right.
Because it's just that round and round, you know, nothing that you need to think about.
That's funny.
Do it while you fall asleep.
It's funny because I want complex things at bedtime.
That's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't compute anything complicated at bedtime. It's got to be just something simple. And that's all I've got left of the first ball. So if you compare, look, I mean, I've really not got very much at all left of that first ball. It says to knit to 15 inches wide, so my thinking is if I do get to 5 inches with this ball, then I'm on track to, the gauge. I've not measured my gauge, but I'm presuming it's much of a muchness because I've got 100 yards for 100 grams like the Lion brand is. So, and I'm going to make more of these. And I said to you, didn't I, that I think this is something that I might knit maybe 2 or 3 of them through next year and just stash them away as Christmas presents because, for women, and even for a man, to be honest, if they wear cowls, if you did it in a colour that's suitable for male people in your families, then I think they're just perfect gifts. It's so squishy. I love moss stitch. I do have a bit of a love affair thing with moss stitch. There's just something about it. I think my mum used to knit a lot of moss stitch, I seem to think. She used to do this jumper pattern for everybody when we were little, and it had a moss stitch body and a cable running down it. So maybe that's where my kind of love of it stems from. But it's such a fabulous project, and if you're looking for a quick gift for somebody, I think this is brilliant. And now I've got the needles, I can just buy 3 more balls of that wool whenever I feel like it. And it's another one. I think it was only like £3 something a ball. So probably about £10 for this cowl, which you really can't complain with that, can you? No. So I'm really, really loving it.
Cool. Yeah. Finished?
Yes.
Excellent.
Dan Jones.
Let's get this show on the road.
You weren't going to let me say it though.
No, I was just preempting your... But you came in too early.
What?
So another... No.
Teeny tiny needles.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.
Well, I've said it now.
No. Now I'm ready.
Get on with it.
No, please.
I'm not doing it again.
Please.
No?
I've decided to start a new tradition.
Have you?
Yes.
What's that?
To cast on a pair of socks for Bryony on her birthday.
Oh.
It's called Bryony's Birthday Cast On.
Oh. She had a lovely birthday.
She did. And we went to the cinema.
We did.
It was great. I just sat down.
I know.
Surrounded by old Bryony's friends. And I just said to Kay, this is great.
Best party
nice
ever.
Soft leather chair.
It was Bryony's choice. We just sat there for like 2 hours and did nothing and ate popcorn. It was brilliant.
The film wasn't that great.
No, we saw Storks,
Yeah.
which it was nice and lovely, and all the children enjoyed it. I kept looking round to look at their faces, and they were all loving it.
But it certainly won't be going into our top 5 movies of all time.
No.
Don't panic. We don't need to do another one of those until next episode.
The babies were very cute in it, though. Very cute babies.
It's a pair of socks.
Aww.
And the plan will always be to cast them on her birthday and then to give them to her as a Christmas present.
Wow, you've set yourself a task.
I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I'll have these finished by Christmas.
Will you?
Of course I will.
Okie dokie.
It's like early November. The great thing is with socks, with the BB Handmade Christmas, is you get to count each individual sock as for your score.
Really? We all know this is not true.
It was a lovely gift from a lovely friend for my birthday, so thank you so much.
Do you have the ball band?
Well, I don't know, it's your job to look after ball bands.
I would have shoved it inside there. And it's
you
not
didn't.
there. I did.
You didn't.
I absolutely did, and
You've
lost it.
I haven't. Why would I have taken it out?
Well, I haven't taken it out.
I haven't taken it out.
Who do you believe?
I haven't taken it out. Why would I take it out?
Anyway,
I'll just take this out and just pop it over there.
It's Opal, and it's the 6-ply, but we can't tell you the colourway, unfortunately.
It's called the Very Lovely Colourway with pinks and blues.
It's
and
one of
purples.
the newish ranges of 6-ply, so
Perfect
I'm sure if
yeah.
you looked at those, then you'd find it's purples and pinks. Lovely.
It's difficult knitting on small needles with this small yarn, and it's a good start to me starting to knit. Of course, with the fingering weight boot camp, which I did start because I knit on
my cowl.
Your cowl, didn't I? What cowl?
Did. My scrappy cowl.
Did I? Is that what that was?
At your mum's,
okay.
Yeah.
So I did, as we spoke about last time, I had already started my boot camp. This was the follow-up, and I know it's obviously thick compared to fingering weight, but it's just getting me,
It's not really. I mean,
I'm glad you said that.
It's like a sport weight, the 6-ply, I think. It's quite thin, and you're knitting on 3.5mm needles, so You know, quite small, really.
So maybe it is a task to get these done. But I will! I'm going to do it! Yeah.
Twisted rib loveliness.
Cool, so brand new cast on. Oh, yes. And we should have said at the start, I've only got one new cast on, but Kay has 5 off your needles. And do you have any new cast-ons that you show? And you're showing them today?
Yeah, I've just shown you one.
Sorry, so that's 3 new cast-ons and 5 cast-offs. Not bad, eh?
What's going on?
So, with that in mind, let's find out.
Oh,
What else is on your needles?
another one?
Yes.
Well,
Is that new too?
Yes.
Wow.
While we were down in
Wow.
Somerset visiting Dan's mum, Wendy's got a friend down there called Jacqui.
Kay decided to start walking down the street going, does anybody want hand-knit socks?
I did not.
I'll knit you some socks.
I did not
roll
do
up,
that.
Roll up.
I did not do that. But Wendy has a friend down in Somerset called Jacqui, and she watches. Hi, Jacqui. And she saw a picture that I posted on Instagram of us all wearing our socks, and she said, oh, they look lovely, I'd love some of those. And I said, oh, I'll knit you some socks.
Jacqui must be part of the Somerset Stitches.
Oh, you would think so.
That's their little
wouldn't you?
knitting group.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Jackie's a knitter. So I said, I'll knit you some
She's
socks.
knit 48,000
Bankheads she has. So I was like, yeah, I'll knit you some socks, and I got her measurements and everything. So when I came home, I had to look through all my stash and just trying to decide what to use. I have a terrible time making decisions about anything.
Yes.
Oh, just shocking about
Yes.
anything, not just yarn,
No.
anything.
Like going out for the day.
Oh, don't, honestly, I'm just terrible. So, I was so indecisive, and I did cast on a pair. I pulled some out of my stash, cast on a pair, and then decided no, that wasn't quite right. Then chose a different yarn and cast on these, because obviously they live very, very close to the sea, so it's very coastal where they live, and I kind of wanted something a bit coastally. So I found this in my stash and thought, yes, this is perfect. I've had it for a little while. I've never knit with it, so I'll really enjoy knitting with it, and it's just perfect colours.
Bobbing up and down like this.
What are you doing?
Who sings that? Sons of the sea, bobbing up and down like this.
I've no idea.
Someone out there will know.
So this is what I've cast on, and it's Cascade Heritage Prints, and the colour I'm knitting with is Beachcliff, which is number 33, and I've actually since it's not arrived yet. That's funny. I went and ordered another ball for myself actually once I started knitting these because I loved it so much, and it's really lovely yarn. I'm really enjoying knitting with it, and I'm working both socks together, not on the same needle or anything like that. I'm not.
Are these part of the Bakery Bears Handmade Christmas?
Well, they're not really a Christmas gift. They're just a gift. I suppose by the time I finish them, it might be.
No, you'll have them finished
No,
before
because
then.
I want to get them finished by the end of this month.
Yeah, so you know.
Because I've got December
They're
plans.
not a Christmas gift.
December plans.
No.
So I'm knitting them at the same time. So here you go. Haven't I done well? So this one.
Didn't she do well?
Did she do well? This one is to the point of where the heel flap's going to go in, and I'm just working down this one. I've got about another 20 rows. But look at the matchiness of this. I can't get over. Look at that, look at that. I'm so impressed with myself that I managed to match these so well. I'm not normally bothered, but because these were a gift, I just wanted them as...
Not bothered.
Not bothered. I just wanted them as pretty as possible, you know, as matchy as possible. So I'm loving it, and I'm using... Why are you laughing?
Because I'm not bothered. Kay was doing a tutorial the other day for patrons, and as part of one of her instructions, she said to just shove your yarn in there like this.
Shove it in. I was mortified I'd said that.
Classy bird.
I sounded so like
Just shove it in
broad.
there.
Just shove it in, and then we just started laughing, didn't we?
You did.
Well, I did.
I was ashamed.
I know. And I'm using higher sharps for this, 2.25 and 64 stitches, so just a normal, plain sort of vanilla sock. I'm just at the point of deciding what I'm going to do about the heel flap. I've got some Cascade Heritage just solids, and I've got a colour, I think it's limestone, that's kind of just a bit paler than the sandy colour you can see there.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
And I've also ordered another skein, which should come today, which I'm hoping might be more closer to that sandy colour.
Will it, do you think?
Well, it's called Camel, so I'm not sure. if it'll be that. But anyway, I'm either going to use a solid Cascade Heritage, in a coordinating colour, or I'll pull. I can't pull from the other end of the ball because I've wound them into balls.
What were you thinking?
I can't do that.
Okay.
So if I don't use the solid, what I will do is I'll just carry on knitting, and then I will cut the yarn at the end of the heel flap, wind off a bit, and start knitting again to keep the stripes. So I will do one of those two options. But I love this colourway. Isn't it a fantastic colourway?
What's it called?
Beachcliff.
Right.
It's
Yes,
perfect,
yes.
isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like waves.
I also thought it looked a bit like, Christmassy, I suppose, wintry. Do you know, with the blues and the sort of speckly brown looks a bit like slushy snow, and it snowed today.
It certainly has. It feels very, very Christmassy.
Oh, it was lovely. I was watching it fall when I was up at ridiculous o'clock this morning. It was lovely.
Yeah, she woke me up too.
So I'm really, really enjoying knitting with this yarn. It's lovely, and I don't know what I expected. I think it feels quite luxurious somehow. It doesn't feel like, it's lovely, isn't it? It's very soft.
Yeah.
Really nice to knit with, so I would highly recommend it. And like I said, I ordered another skein of this colour, and also the holidays.
Is this the ball band?
Yeah.
I collect these, can I have that?
Get off my ball band. Look, I keep them in the right place. It's you that loses them. Stop it. So really enjoying those, and I want to get them finished by the end of this month, because I've got plans for December. And I'm sure I'll be able to get these done by the end of this month.
I've knit on this loads, but I've not made a lot of progress. It's just not on. Sorry.
I think you have.
Oh, well, that's fine then. I have.
Oh,
I've made loads of progress.
It's lovely and squishy.
It's No Makers, To Be Jolly,
Yeah.
Violet Waffles, well into the pattern. Because the variegation on the yarn, it's never going to show off the pattern massively well. But I don't think it's about that.
No.
I think it's about showing off the yarn. And the pattern definitely suits the yarn because it's making it swirl in a really nice way. I like it. And the base is lovely.
It is.
It's really great.
I lost the ball band a long time ago, but I think it's...
There's a pattern, isn't there?
I don't know what it's called, the base, but it's her kind of standard worsted base. It's lovely.
Well, it's very good.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And it's very festive. But not to a point of feeling silly knitting on it in October, which is obviously when I started it. But yeah, I would strongly recommend knitting a Violet Waffles with a variegated yarn, because I've done it in plain yarns before, and that's lovely. But this is so much more fun because it is a bit boring. I find the stitch pattern.
I like it.
So if you throw in the variegation.
Yeah, because it changes it, doesn't it? And
it's keeping it. Last time, I think when I finished knitting this last time, I wasn't that keen. Well, I haven't knit another. So.
No, that's true. That's usually a good indication, isn't it?
I saw this yarn, and immediately I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll knit a Violet Waffles, and I'm really enjoying knitting it. So, I think interesting conversation that, because sometimes you might throw out a pattern after knitting it totally when you shouldn't, because you've not knit with the right yarn with that pattern.
Right.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
It's like ingredients to a cake.
Yeah.
If you get it right, then everything's going to work.
Absolutely. The Yarniacs always go on about, Gail and Charlene always say that when you find, look at all the birds. Sorry.
Yes.
When you find the perfect pattern and the perfect yarn and you match them together, it's like just such a fabulous eureka moment.
It really is. Speargrass and handspun.
Yeah.
Say nothing more.
Yeah.
What else is on your needles?
Wow. Well, I thought I'd start the next block in my Disney blanket. Do you know, my stitching time effectively, but I've turned it into like a Disney movie inspired blanket. And I was saving this to cast on until we got into November, because I'm doing a Christmas movie, and I'm doing Muppet's Christmas Carol, which is Disney produced. I think I found out, didn't I? Or it's certainly Disney.
Yeah, it is.
So I've started it, and again, me and Bryony had a lovely afternoon going through all my minis, deciding what characters we were going to knit and choosing the right colours for those characters. So I've knit 3 squares so far. So here's the start. So this one is Scrooge, and it's Scrooge when, do you know at the end where Beaker gives him the red scarf, and he's got on a dark suit and he's standing in the snow and he's got his red scarf. So I really like that. And this sort of variegated light and dark is an Opal from the Opal Advent calendar last year. I thought that worked really well. And then that's just some red. I think it might have been a fondant fibre mini, I think. Then this one is the Mouse family. Do you notice Bryonys' favourite bits? Do you know when one of the mice goes, "Please, sir, I want some cheese"?
Yes. That's in the opening bit.
Yeah,
where he's
the
walking
opening
through,
bit, yeah. But then you see them later, he goes and gives them some cheese, doesn't he, Scrooge?
When you see him joyful, thankful heart at the end.
Yeah, so it's mouse colours with then some cheese in it. And this is, I think there's some Wool Barn, and I'm not sure what that one is. And that one, I think, is Turkey Run by, is it Turkey Run? I think that's what it was called, by Leading My Fibroids. I had a little mini gifted to me. And then this one, this is actually Gonzo. When I went to look at the colours of Gonzo, he's blue, obviously. He plays Charles Dickens. He's blue, but he had on like a red coloured coat and like a tannish coloured hat. And when I was looking through all my yarns, I'd got this that I dyed up a while ago. It was a trial. I just dyed up a 50-gram Drops Fable. Like, you know, I like to do that. Just as a trial for a colourway. I know. And and when I showed it Bryony, she's like, "Well, that's just the right colours. It's red and blue and tan." And I didn't dye this up as an actual full skein because I changed it. It was a Harry Potter colour, I think, that I did for the patrons, and I changed it quite a bit. But I had that and it was perfect. So that's the 3 I've done so far. I'm casting on 45 stitches for this, and I used 2.75mm, and I'm using my lovely, beautiful Signatures 7 inches that I just love, and it just makes the whole thing, you know, such a joy. I just love them. They're very festive with the red.
They are.
Yes.
I like those.
So I've got all the rest of them picked out and bagged up.
Let's see them.
I've got Marley and Marley. You can see through the bag what the colours are, but Marley and Marley are all these shades of grey, you know, because it's the ghost-like figures. I've got a red deer in there, another Wool Barn, I believe, and then I think that's an Opal, I think. And then this is my favourite, and this inspired some dyeing that I did that I will show you in Endy Bits. But this one is Miss Piggy, and Miss Piggy plays Emily Cratchit, and she has on, when you look at the images, when you Google it, she's got like lavender coloured gloves, and then her dress is kind of like a periwinkle sort of colour. So I chose these, and she's obviously a fleshy sort of pinky pig sort of colour. So I chose these colours, and I'm not sure which of those two pinks, either this one or this one at the top, and I've dropped one of my minis.
Oh, at least you missed the T's.
I missed the T's, that was good. So I'm not sure which of these two pinks I'm going to use for her face. This one is very pink. I think it's an Eden Cottage Yarns. I think it's Blossom. I've used it for all sorts of things. But this one is more of a dusty pink. And although her skin is probably that dusty pink, I'm drawn to the more, you know, piggy pink, I would say. And then this is Cascade Heritage in... Is it lilac? It might be lilac. And then I've no clue what this one is. It's a mini that was sent to me one time. So I love those ones. And that square's going right in the middle.
Yes.
Because that's my favourite.
It's my favourite too.
And then I won't show you all the others. I expect you'll be bored. But I'll tell you the characters. We've got Beaker, which is like oranges and reds. And that's sort of the colour of Beaker. Oh, over here. The Ghost of Christmas Present, which he wears like a green and gold coat, and his beard is sort of like a reddish brown, so we've gone for those. I think that's Desert Vista Dye Works, that one, and this one I dyed. And then we've got the big feast scene at the end, so for that I've gone for a turkey colour, a colour that looks a bit like Kermit. We've got red in there because you see quite a lot of red in that scene, you know, there's like a big bow I think on the turkey, and then the pinky colour for all the pig side of the family. I don't like saying pig, but they are pigs, aren't they? Yeah. So that's the big Christmas scene. at the end. And then the last one is Kermit, of course, and I'll take this one out of the bag. I'm hoping these bags aren't too crinkly. They're very soft plastic bags, so I'm hoping they're not. So this is Kermit. So we've got the lovely green of Kermit, and then he wears those sort of colours is what he's got on. So I'm really enjoying knitting that, and I do like having a theme to my sort of blankets. You know, it's like the Stitching Time one. I love doing that because each month is different and you choose your colours that go into it. And it's the same with this. I'm really enjoying choosing the colours and everything. So again, I want to get this block finished by the end of November because I do have December mini plans. So there we go. That's that.
That's wonderful. I can't wait to see it finished.
I know.
It'll be very festive when it's done.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of reds and greens in there and goldy sort of colours. So hopefully, you know, I won't crinkle those bags anymore. I'll just put them away. It's right next to the microphone. So
That's wonderful.
Hope that wasn't too bothersome. There we go. Oh! What? Dan Jones, what else are you knitting?
6 out of 10 for that one.
I know, because I've done it once.
Slick.
I don't know that I have to do it.
You didn't
5
have to, but
times.
you started off. It was like there was an expectation. You created an expectation.
Oh no!
I sat there waiting for it. Oh, they've gone again.
I know, there's huge starlings all over the lawn. The weather must have brought up the worms, I think.
What do you think of this?
Oh, look at that. Doesn't it look long?
I'm going to start the decreases after this next round of cables because I'm slightly worried that I'm going to run out of yarn.
That's all he's got left, and it's from 100 gram scale. And normally for a hat, you know, 100 grams is plenty. But I think the cables are eating up a lot of yarn. But the pattern calls for 9 repeats, doesn't it, of the cable?
Yes, I think though it is definitely. It's of course it's the Antler Hat by Tin Can Knits, designed by Alexa Ludeman, and it is just brilliant.
It's fantastic, but we think that it should be cuffed. It won't, you know, you wear it with the brim cuffed up, and that's why.
If you look at the picture on the
body's
pattern,
longer.
It's definitely like that.
Yeah.
It's a genius. I said to Kay today, I think it is a genius pattern because I think it uses. I mean, if you just take a look at those
it's lovely,
cables, it's it's a simple design, but it's not, is it? I mean, look at it.
It's lovely.
It just looks. It looks so great. I think the yarn is really working for this, and this totally is the opposite, isn't it, to the To Be Jolly the No Makers. This is completely plain yarn, but it's the pattern that's doing all the talking, rightly so.
It needs a completely plain yarn.
It does. It does. It absolutely does. It's just the best fun to knit, and actually, if I looked at this and I looked at the Declans, I would look at this and go, "Ooh, now that looks tricky."
It's striking because of its simplicity, I suppose.
Yeah, but why am I being an idiot to think that this looks more? If you'd shown me these two hats when I was a beginner knitter, I probably would have looked at both and gone, "I've got no chance." But I would have definitely picked this one out and gone, "How am I going to create that?"
So nice.
Whereas
and your stitches are amazing. Look at those stitches.
I think that the Declan's hat is more conventional cabling, isn't it?
Fabulous.
Is that right?
Oh, look how nice that would look. I want every hat that you knit. I'm so terrible.
Am I right in saying that the Declan's hat's cabling is a more conventional cable?
I guess
it looks more like what you would expect from a cable. Whereas,
maybe so.
Whereas that, it looks just like what it's supposed to look like. They look like antler horns, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so lovely. Yeah. The pattern really flows, and that's different to the Declan's hat. The Declan's hat, you really have to go back.
Yeah, because it's that you don't repeat anything in the Declan's hat, do you? You just have an X number of rows, and they're all they're all different. So
perhaps then, this is, if you were a beginner cabler, this is the one to go for first.
Yeah, you could definitely tackle that.
So go for this one first.
Yeah, and it's a free pattern.
Yeah, and then move on to the Declans.
Yeah,
I do really like the Declan's hat.
Absolutely, I love it. Yeah,
I think that actually by knitting this and getting into the flow of cables and just understanding what's going on a little bit more, it actually probably means that when I knit another Declan's hat, I'll do a better job on it, because the last one I knit, I didn't do that great a job because there was lace in it.
Managed to create a few holes, but it was fine.
But, I could be making one of these for you.
Oh, yes.
If you enter the Bakery Bears Handmade Christmas. Now, of course,
Yes.
I'm not projecting onto you what hat I should make. You can select any hat that I've made before.
Yes, I was going to say,
Don't turn around and say, I
say
want the whatever it may be hat.
That's really complicated, yeah.
I think what would better
But there's
suit
a nice
you...
selection.
There really is.
There's Bankhead, there's Violet Waffles, there's this one, there's Declan's hat, I've missed one. Speargrass.
I mean, if it was
That's
me...
plenty of choice, isn't it?
If it was me, I'd be asking me to make a speargrass in
Hansel.
But then I look at that.
Yeah, I
and
think that's lovely.
Yes. So it's tricky.
Yeah.
The yarn is Aran.
It's the one we were just talking about. It's the
Rowan
Rowan.
From K-Stash.
Yeah, from my stash. And that colourway, I think, it was something like moss or lichen or something like that. I forget now.
Actually, it's worth just showing you quickly now. You can see there, can't you?
It's cuffed over.
Do you see there how there's definite cuffage?
Yeah, but I think the decreases are quite sharp, aren't they?
That's a better picture.
Yeah, the decreases are quite sharp, as I remember. So that always just pull the fabric in at the top. So I'm sure
You were worried
absolutely
about
fine.
the size, weren't you? But I mean, after blocking,
No, it'll be fine when it's blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that yarn does relax quite a lot.
So this is, of course, another Bakery Bears Handmade Christmas entry for me. So hopefully next
Look
episode...
at those two colours together.
They work, don't they?
They do. Isn't that like a sort of old-fashioned Christmas sort of colour?
Definitely.
Lovely.
What else is on your needles?
Well, the final thing that I've got today, it's not the final thing on my needles, but the final thing I've got today is, hold on to your hats, everybody. It's a cardigan.
Wow.
I am knitting the Harvest cardigan, again by Tin Can Knits.
Well.
And it's another one of their free patterns from the Simple collection. Anyway, this is the pattern. Again, it's a very popular pattern on Ravelry. It's a simple sort of garter-edged cardigan that you can put buttons on, or you can just fasten it, with a brooch or a shawl pin, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not putting buttons on. I just want the simplicity of it. I'm knitting this actually as part of a tutorial series for the patrons, which will start
in a couple of weeks. And run right the way through December.
Yeah. So I am, I'm working on it now, and we're filming it and everything.
So it'll be perfect, actually, for those cold January breezes.
Oh, it will. Well, it depends how quickly I can finish it, I suppose, doesn't it?
It'll be perfect.
But when I was choosing the yarn, the pattern uses Mad Tosh Vintage. Now, Mad Tosh Vintage, for me to buy in this country, it's £20 a skein. It's £20 a
Hold
skein.
the phone.
And I would need... six or maybe even 7, I'm not sure, but that's a lot of money. So I thought, as beautiful as that is, and I would love to knit it in that, I've got to look for something a bit more economical. So I did look at more kind of commercial yarns, and in the end I've gone for like a middle ground. I've gone for a beautiful yarn that's actually I think I paid £8 a skein for it, or either £7.99 or £8.99. And I got it from Woolstack. I use Woolstack a lot, and they're brilliant. And I'm using, I love this yarn, Malabrigo worsted. I've always, if you remember episodes back, way back, I once mentioned that I really wanted to knit a cardigan or a jumper in Malabrigo worsted. And that memory jumped into my head when I was looking at this cardigan. I thought, what? I'm going to use that. So I swatched. I had a skein in my stash, just one, and I thought, brilliant, I can swatch. I can order the yarn once I know it's going to work, which was great. So I did a couple of swatches. I don't like swatching, I'll be honest with you. So I did small swatches. But I swatched, first of all, with the recommended needle size, which was 5mm. And you're meant to get a gauge of 18 stitches, to 4 inches. I got 16, which I think is a fairly standard worsted weight gauge, 16 stitches to 4 inches. However, that was quite a bit off. So I went down a needle size to 4.5mm, and I'm still not on gauge. I'm 17 stitches to 4 inches for this. But that's closer. And I've got the exact row gauge on that. I know your row gauge is not as important, but I did get the right row gauge on 4.5mm, and I'm just a stitch out. So I know that means that my cardigan will come out a bit bigger than the pattern, because I've got 17 stitches, which is less, therefore it's going to come out a bit bigger. So bearing that in mind, I sort of looked at what size I was going to knit, and you can knit it with either a bit of negative or a bit of positive ease. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going for the size medium, which is a 37 chest. So that will give me, if say I get an inch of positive ease, then I'll have a couple of inches of positive ease on the finished cardigan, which is absolutely fine. I would rather have it snuggly and a little bit bigger than smaller. I'm that kind of person, I think. So the colour that I chose, again, took me about 3 days to choose the colour. I wanted to order pink so badly, I cannot even tell you how badly I wanted to order pink. Then I thought sensibly and thought, would I actually wear a great big cardigan if it was pink? Probably in the house I would, but not necessarily out, because I'm quite a plain and simple dresser, really. So I thought, right, let's be sensible. So I ordered this colour instead, and I've got stone blue, which I think is perfect.
Yeah.
For me, I think that's perfect colour.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah, I do. It's nice.
I think it'd be brilliant. So I ordered, I think I got 7 skeins. I think I'll only need 6. But I thought, right, I'm going to order 7. They're all the same dye lot. So,
what thickness is that?
Worsted.
What thickness do I need for that?
Worsted.
I'll knit you a hat.
If there's one left over.
Well, make sure there is.
I think there'll be one left over. So
I'll have matching hats.
Oh,
That'd be hilarious.
I go out in my cardigan and matching hat.
Yes. And I should also do your gloves, because there is
mittens.
Antler mittens, isn't there?
Oh, there is antler mittens.
Oh, she's going to look brilliant.
Yeah,
yes.
Right. Well, we'll just see how much is left over. So I've cast on and I've worked the first sort of piece, and what you do, it's a free pattern, but what you do is, first of all, you knit the collar at the back here, and then you pick up. So I've finished knitting the collar, and it's like this garter band with a little stocking stitch kind of edging, and this is where you pick up from. And it's got a provisional cast on. I know it doesn't look like it because I used the same yarn for the provisional cast on, but that's fine. But this is a provisional cast on down here. And look at my stitch marker. Oh, it's a dashend. Lovely Carol gave me this. Oh, I love it. So that was just telling me what was the right side and the wrong side while I was knitting that piece. So that's the first stage done. So the next stage I'll be doing is you pick up along here and along here and along here, and then you start the raglan increases. So it's a very interesting construction. I really like this. And actually, I love knitting this little strip. It was lovely. And it's such nice yarn. It's so soft and squishy. And I know it will probably pill a bit, but you know what? I don't care, because I'll just have such a lovely, soft, cosy cardigan that it's just going to be lovely. So that's where I'm up to with that. And I'm using high-highers again for this, interchangeables, 4.5mm, but I am finding them a bit slippy, because this yarn is a single ply. So I think I'm going to change them for my chow goose. I'm pretty sure I've got 4.5mm fixed chow goose, and they're much more, they've got more of a grip. These are very slick, the high-highers. So I think I'll do that before I start the next section. But I'm just really loving it, and if you
want to join in the fun,
yeah, if you want to join in,
couple of weeks, every Tuesday,
cast one on, because the pattern
start to finish.
The pattern
should
looks
be taking you
lovely, very clear. It has all these beautiful. All of their patterns are like this. Can you see all these lovely little cut? They look hand drawn schematics, and it's just so nice. So I'm really excited about knitting this, and I'm keen, to get onto the next section. I really want to pick up those stitches and start on the raglan decreases. So I might want to do that today, actually.
Fine.
Oh, isn't that exciting?
I'm tell you what's
excited.
exciting.
I hope you're proud of me for knitting a cardigan.
I'm very proud of you.
Oh, she says. I hardly knit anything yet, have I? Let's see how long my enthusiasm lasts.
Folks, it's time to continue our treasure hunt.
Oh.
Now, I so hope you're enjoying it. Please let us know what you think.
Yes.
It's so important to us, because this is very much a pilot. We've been working on this an awful long time, and we hope that you really enjoy it.
I really hope you enjoy it.
Loved
We really enjoyed doing it.
filming the first part.
Yeah.
And now it's time to go back and see if we can find Stannic Iron Age fortification.
Oh, how exciting.
Who knows? Should we go find out? Let's go. We made it! I don't know how we made it, but we made it. And there doesn't seem to be any rain. So should we go and try and find out, Bryony?
Yes.
Who built the big wall? Stannic Iron Age fortification was a huge place, and we're going to look a little bit at this in just a moment. It was ruled, as were all of the Brigantes, by Queen Cartimandua. Now, the Brigantes were one of the first tribes to pledge allegiance to the Romans, but they weren't always completely faithful. They did do things, though, which really didn't ingratiate them with their other Celtic tribes, who were very anti-Roman rule. For example, Caraticus, one of the famous English Celtic leaders, he came to Cartimandua after being defeated by the Romans in Wales, and she promptly handed him over back to the Romans. But what was it like to live here? Look for a big wall, people. So here I am on top of the fortifications looking down. That is the enemy side, and as we look around here you get to see the vastness of Stannic. The walls are about 5.6 miles long, and in here is where, if we were to dig all of that, we would find lots and lots of roundhouses. Now when I say lots and lots, there was 85,000 people who lived here. So this is a serious city. But we are on a mission, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to find the famous wall of Mortimer Wheeler. But I just want you to have a listen to this wind. It's absolutely blowing a hoolie, as they say in Scotland. The girls are doing exceptionally well, to be honest, because the weather is not what was forecast. And I'm a little bit worried because I'm sure I've felt some spots of rain in the air. But I think we found it. This is Mortimer Wheeler's wall. And here is the man himself. Yes, this is Mortimer Wheeler, looking the quintessential English gent. He was born in Scotland in the late 19th century, and he became one of our greatest archaeologists. From the ancient Persian capital of Persepolis, captured by Alexander the Great in 330 BC, to Abu Simbel in Egypt, Mortimer Wheeler dug some of the most famous archaeological sites in the world. But in 1950, he came right here to Stannic. He uncovered the remains of the 1st century wall and reconstructed this very section. It's mighty impressive up there. So look, there is Mortimer's wall. And there must be a clue somewhere. Have you found anything? Yes! Okay, let's get back to the car and check out the next clue. Okay, so there was a little bit of rain.
A little bit.
So we might have rushed quite quickly back to the car.
We might have.
But we have our next clue.
It's time to seek the sustenance you're earned, spelt very strangely. Seek out a course in sight of Scout's retreat. Make sure the line court luncheon isn't burnt. Then sit in Baden-Powell's backyard till you're replete. Did anybody understand a word of that?
No.
Well, look, this is the treasure hunt.
I do feel like I'm on treasure hunt from, you know, the days of Annika Rice.
You're not supposed to understand the clues.
Because you never understood the clues. It was like, what? And they worked it out, and you're like, what? How can that be it?
So clearly it's implying food.
Food.
Which is right, because we're on a quest for afternoon tea. Now, it mentions Scouts, it mentions Baden-Powell.
Oh, yeah.
Baden-Powell.
He formed the Scouts, didn't he?
He did. And where did he form them?
I've no idea.
Barnard, no. Richmond Castle! Much like the Roman invasion of Britain in 43 AD, when the Normans arrived in 1066 and they won at the Battle of Hastings, they spread across the country building castles just like this at Richmond in Yorkshire. We are going to Richmond Castle.
Right.
And we will find where Baden-Powell, Lord Baden-Powell, he started the Scout movement. Of course, now it's Bear Grylls who's chief scout. But the Scout movement started in, I think it was, it's the 1910s, wasn't it? after the First World War, so just after the First World War. It's now spread all over the world, but it started right where we're going, and that's Richmond. So let's go. And here he is, Robert Baden-Powell, the world's first Chief Scout. And it was a movement that he'd begun in 1908 right here in Richmond, and it spread across the world very quickly, because here he is in 1912 with US President Taft inspecting the Scouts of Washington DC. So what I love about this first Bakery Bears treasure hunt is in about a 10-mile geographic area we've gone through about 1,000 years of history, because Stanwick Iron Age Fort was built in the 1st century. Pierce Bridge was built sort of 1st century. I need to get the directions right, but the bit that we went to was actually the 3rd century, and then 1,000 years after that, well, no, I'm wrong, because it was about 1100 that Richmond Castle was built. Now, I can't remember the name of the guy who built it. I think he was called Alan. Which I find quite...
Normal name.
Yeah,
normal name.
I was absolutely right. It is. It's Alan Rufus, who built this castle in 1071. He'd come across with William the Conqueror in 1066. He'd fought at the Battle of Hastings, and William gave him this as reward for his services to the crown. We've made it to Richmond, so we're going to get parked up and we're going to hot-foot it to the castle. Well, no. First of all, we're going to have to hot-foot it to Mocha, where we are going to source our sweet treats. Isn't that right, girls?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, someone give me a time check.
10:38.
Okay, so we have 30 minutes left to complete our task. Will we do it? Let's find out. So this is the beautiful market town of Richmond, and our mission was to get fish and chips and eat them in sight of Baden-Powell's backyard, which is the part of the castle where he set up the Scouts. But we've changed it. We're now going to get some chocolates, and we're going to try out some chocolates that could potentially go on our afternoon tea that we will have at the end of all our treasure hunts. And who knows when that will be, but we're going to find all the perfect ingredients, and we think chocolates definitely should be on the menu for the perfect afternoon tea. But it's not just chocolates that Mocha sell. They also have a wonderful collection of sweets. They sell amazing cola bottles. I'm just panning around actually now. Bryony came in specifically for some mini marshmallows, but they'd sold out. No! But also they have a wonderful selection of coffee, and for me that's the perfect ingredient for afternoon tea. And I think this one, okay, look, espresso beans complex for those who want it all.
That looks cool.
That sounds like me. We've also got Sumatra. It's not as strong though. I think definitely. Are they beans? Yeah, they are. Definitely need some of this. Come on, folks, we've got 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let's go, let's go.
We're going this way, darling.
We're going this way.
Oh, sorry.
This is it, folks. This is the spot. It's Baden-Powell's backyard. Why is it? Because it's along that wall, which you're going to look at in a minute, that he was based with the Northern Territorial Army in 1908. Now, the girls need to get a move on because we have got literally moments. I think there's 5 minutes left on the clock. So, I need to get going. Establishing with Brian what the Scouts are. This is it. This is exactly the spot. Lord Baden-Powell had barracks built along this wall, and this is where he started the Scout movement. So what spread across the whole world began right here, which I think is really exciting. Walkers, yeah, not such. It's super windy, but we are trying our potential additions to our perfect afternoon tea.
I love this.
Try it, try it.
Licorice toffee.
This is a Christmas chocolate. And I don't think much to it, to be honest.
Oh, really? What flavour? Oh, the port one.
This is port and
I
lime.
now can't speak because I've got a toffee in my
But
mouth.
this is not going in. Is this it then? Have we finished the treasure hunt?
I think so.
What's this?
Another clue.
Oh no! Hold me! Come out, come out. Okay. Now's not the time to sit, but journey forth. Fine. Where Dickens slept the night at the King's Head. Then find the home of King and King of North, and sit in Brackenbury's tower and look ahead.
Good heavens. It says you are allowed to seek the help with this clue.
Yes!
You have
Folks.
90 minutes to complete this task. Time will commence when the theme tune begins in the next exciting episode
Of the Bakery Bears treasure hunt, thank goodness. We will set up a thread on Ravelry, we will stick this clue in, and please help us solve this clue. We've no idea where we're going. This is the most cryptic one we've had yet. Where Dickens? Maybe it's Charles? The King's Head?
My teeth are completely stuck together with toffee now.
That was the plan. Folks, thank you so much for watching this very first treasure hunt. I hope you've enjoyed it.
It's been super fun.
Has it? Or are you fibbing?
No?
Yes, result. Please help us with this, and we'll see you next time for more. Bye. Victory is ours!
Yay!
Yes! We have completed. We found stunning. I can't believe we found it. Yes, I was rather pleased. And
It's a pity it's kind of not there anymore, isn't it? That, you know...
You need to use your imagination.
Yeah.
But it is so unbelievably important. You know, for a man like Mortimer Wheeler, you know, who dug Abu Simbel and you know...
I've been there. Fantastic place.
And, you know...
I love Egypt.
He dug all the really important archaeological sites across the world. You'll also find as well, if you search Mortimer Wheeler Hadrian's Wall, he shot a series in the 1950s that's on YouTube, and it's really interesting to watch because you get a slice of 1950s life as well whilst he's shooting a historical documentary, the way he speaks and puts himself across, and it's just super interesting. But we have our first ingredient.
We do.
Yes. Now, sadly, it's not going to work for Kay.
Don't drink coffee.
No afternoon tea would be right for me
without a coffee.
An amazing coffee. And this is a new one on me, perfectly found. Mocha came to the rescue.
Yeah.
And over the next episodes of the Bakery Bears Treasure Hunt, we will be adding to the list of ingredients that we find.
We will.
In our final treasure hunt, which will probably be sometime next Easter, we will...
Oh, that'd be nice,
yes,
wouldn't it?
we will put together all the ingredients that we find over the episodes of Treasure Hunt and have the perfect afternoon tea. So that is the plan.
How exciting.
And what I loved about doing that for you was previously in Favourite Places to Knit, we've taken you to single sites.
Yeah.
We've never gone to, apart from we did the James Herriot, but that was a very
Yes.
different Favourite Places to Knit. We've never looked at a whole area, and to cover 1,000 years of history was just the most exciting thing. And just not knowing where we were going.
Yeah,
and
it was very fun.
It was so fun.
I
But
hope you enjoyed it. Do let us know what you think.
we need your help.
Yes.
We have set up a thread in the Bakery Bears Ravelry group. It's called Treasure Hunt. And funny enough, the first post in there is the clue that we've just read out, because we have not got a clue. It's the most cryptic of all the clues.
Did anybody watch Treasure Hunt with Annika Rice?
Well, you have just reminded me of something that we must say, and that was obviously the pilot. It's the first ever treasure hunt, and there's a couple of changes that we're going to make to next time. The first one is we wanted to make sure that there was enough time to actually do the tasks and get it, on camera for you. Next time, the clock is going to become way more important.
Yeah.
And with the introduction of a way more important clock, we will be adding a catchphrase, and it will be K's. And that catchphrase is...
We found a clue, stop the clock.
Yes.
You see, I was channeling Annika. Am I Annika by saying that? You know what I mean, don't you? Everybody, you can...
Stop the clock, stop the clock!
I think you can get episodes of
on YouTube.
Treasure Hunt on YouTube, and it was set in the... Was it the 80s?
Yes, set in the 80s.
Set in the 80s.
It's not a historical drama.
It was
so
filmed in the 80s.
Early 80s.
Early 80s, and the clues were ridiculous. You never understood what
Just
the
like the
clue
clues
meant.
we
It was
just had.
so cryptic. And back in the studio, they had no computers or anything like that. Books on shelves was how they solved the clues. I used to love that. I watched them all.
Says, we solved the clues with brain power and maps.
We did.
I love the moment where you found
Those
Morbium.
maps are crazy.
Yes. Well, they're just big,
Do you know
aren't
the
they?
fold-out maps? You end up like this, and then you can never fold them back again, can you?
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is our brand new show.
Yes.
It's the Bakery Bears Treasure Hunt, and it will be back on your screens very soon.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much for watching.
Yes.
And I think now it's time to find out, Kay Jones, as there's so many things.
I cannot believe it.
What's off your needles?
I can't believe how many things I've finished. It's... Well...
You've made up for me.
I have, and I think I've made it for the past few weeks. I think I
Well, you
usually
haven't.
have
We've had
something
lots.
finished, don't I? But for some reason, this time I've just got loads finished. So I'll start with the smallest thing and work my way up, shall I? That seems a sensible thing. So I knit this little heart, and I love this. Look how cute this is.
This is a tutorial series that actually finishes on Tuesday next week. So if you're partway through knitting this and you're looking at it and thinking, how do I stuff the heart? Kay will be dealing with all of that, all of the finishing.
Such a
on
lovely
Tuesday next
pattern.
week.
It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and this is it. It's called Love You Forever by Tanis Lavallee. I hope I've said that right.
I think it's important now that people know you've made some changes.
I made some changes, which is
you
all in the
detail
tutorial.
tutorials,
The pattern is knit with DPNs. I changed it to magic loop, and I also just amended little bits in it to just make it more of a heart shape, I think. But it was a fantastic pattern. I loved it, and I will be knitting lots of these. You know, it's such a versatile thing. You know, Christmas ornaments, if you knit them in, you know, Christmas colours, gifts for people. You can pop some lavender in there, and it can be a little scented, you know, sachet for either your sock drawer or a project bag. Fantastic little thing, and it really didn't take very long at all. Maybe an hour and a half, something like that, you know, start to finish. So really loved it, and I knit that in John Arbon, Knit by Numbers. This was the pink from the hat that Dan double knit, if you remember. So really soft and beautiful yarn. So loved it. So that's my first little project. Really nice. I've got that hanging in the living room at the moment. But it was Bryonys' birthday at the end of last month, and I decided to knit her a little gift for her birthday, and it ended up being quite a stress actually, and I shouldn't have put the pressure on myself, I don't think, but I think we all do it, don't we? I didn't give myself enough time basically, but I did get it finished. And it's a little cotton rabbit, and look at her. Oh, hello. Look at that face. Oh, I'm so cute. Look at my eyes. I didn't change anything on the pattern apart from the pattern is Little Cotton Rabbits by Julie Williams. I'm sure you all know the series of patterns that she's done. But she uses a French knot for the eyes, and I have done that before, but I've just never managed to quite get it to look right. So I just use beads like I do for my bakery bear. And I really like how she looks, because by using beads, and this is why I do it in my bears, it gives a little glint to the eye and makes her look more real. You know, it looks like she's got life in her eyes, which of course she has because she's a real thing. And look at her shoes. I had to knit one of the legs twice, as if I wasn't stressed enough trying to get this finished. I was stuffing the foot, and oh no, I wasn't. I was sewing on the bar across her shoe, and I'd sewn it on in the wrong place. But by trying to undo it, I snipped the yarn on the leg. Nightmare. And it couldn't be fixed. So after a few expletives at
That's not true.
6 in the morning or whatever, I thought, right, do you know what, I'm just going to knit the leg again. Which, the knitting of the pieces doesn't actually take that long. The sewing together takes much longer because it's all seamed. Look, if you look, oh, she's got pants on. Look, oh. There's a seam here, and gosh, I was so pleased with how I seamed that. I know Bryony doesn't know any the wiser, but I was really pleased with that seam. Look at her little pants, look at her little tail. Oh, look, got a little bobbly tail. And there's her pants, look. Oh, so cute. And the dress, again, this dress was a separate pattern. Julie did a range of dresses that she put out as one pattern, and this is one of them that was on there. It's a little lace dress, which is beautiful. The yarn I used is all blacker yarns. The rabbit herself is it's blacker Swan's Island, the Falkland Merino, DK weight, but it's really a worsted weight. And then the dress and the shoes and the pants it's the 4-ply Lyonnaise. I'm not quite sure how to say that. It's a linen blend. And it was lovely. A little bit tough on the hands to knit because of the linen, because you knit this at quite a tight gauge, especially the shoes. But a lovely yarn, and I would imagine if you knit a shawl in it, once it had been blocked, I think it would be beautifully soft and a lovely summer yarn. So there's Blossom, she's called Blossom. And Bryony loves her. I forgot to put on, she actually has little French knots for the shoes here and I forgot to do them, but you know what, at that point I was like, she's finished. So there she is, there's little Blossom. Oh, I love her. I just finished this last night, so I haven't blocked it yet, but I've finished Dan's running hat. It's just turned really cold in the UK. These past few days it's been really, well, this past week really, it's been really cold, you know, 4 or 5 degrees with a breeze, you know, it feels very bitter all of a sudden.
Which I know in many parts of the world will be positively balmy.
Well, it probably will, but suddenly went,
for us,
didn't it? One week
cold,
it was
which
like...
is great because we can wear the
Yeah,
hats.
I mean, one week it was 15 degrees C, and then the next week it was 5 degrees C, and that's a big leap. So you said to me yesterday, oh, when will you finish that hat? Because I could do with it for running, just to alternate with your other one. So I quickly got it out yesterday and knit it in between dyeing, you know, while I was waiting for pots to cool. I did a few rounds and I managed to get it finished last night in bed. So I love the top. Look at the top. It's so cool. How that, you know, the striping, I think it's just came out so nice. So I used for this, I cast on 136 stitches. I knit 3 inches of rib and then I knit to just short of 8 inches for the body and then the decreases. So it's a sock head really, but just the stitch count is amended, and 3mm needles. I'm sure it will fit, but we can't try it on at the moment because it will mess Dan's hair up, because we've had the whole hair thing, haven't we? So I need to block it anyway, I need to wash it and block it. But to be fair, I'll probably just let him wear it a few times and then I'll wash it because, you know, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the BC Yarnings
Yes.
yarn, very colourful yarnings.
Very
and it's
cool.
Boba Fett. So very cool. And I've got about half a skein left, which is brilliant, you know, for squares and things like that. And my cowl, scrappy cowl.
Hello. The Bakery Bears Handmade Christmas. So
Yeah.
far, the things you've shown off your needles, have anything been adding to your score? I mean,
no.
But what's this?
Well, the heart might become a gift for someone. I don't know yet. So that might be a
But
Christmas
the thing is,
gift.
though, is it just hanging on the tree? So this is a
probably-
tricky one.
Yeah,
Are
probably.
you going to
not.
give this as a gift or not?
Probably not.
Okay,
I'm going
so
to
you
knit
can't
some
count that.
more. I'm going to knit some more of those to do
You
as
can't
gifts.
count that. If it
but-
changes in the course of Handmade
See, I
Christmas,
could have said yes,
we can add it.
couldn't I?
But
I've got
you
one
see,
ahead.
well, you're already one ahead.
I'm
It's
being
currently
honest.
the scores
Another
are
one ahead.
the scores are 5-4. So anything else? The hat isn't. Is it?
No.
No. And,
No, because I'm giving it to you now.
and that isn't.
No, that was a birthday
No.
gift.
So far, 3 projects. None of them BB Handmade Christmas. Continue.
I finished Dan's socks.
And am I having these now?
You can have these now.
Okay. Cool.
Unless I put them away for Christmas. That'd be a Christmas gift.
They're
But I
good.
wanted to knit you some for Christmas though, because
Yeah.
Bryony's put that on a Christmas
So there you go.
list.
You can add that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I finished Dan's socks. Look. Da, da, da.
Wow.
In the yarn that I dyed. This is in the Fireside Knitting colourway. So there's, as you can see, there's 2 great big socks. Oh, and I love how they came out. I mean, obviously they won't fit on sock blockers, but they've been washed and blocked, so they're all nice and neat. Lovely, lovely. And this is a matching mini that I did in the like a teal colour, although I wish it was a bit darker actually in hindsight. I wish I'd knocked back that colour a bit, but they're fine. And it was an opal base that I just dyed up. So they're your socks.
Thank you.
Normal 72 stitch, 2.5mm for Dan. So I do want to knit you some Christmas socks.
Thank you.
But I think I'll knit you a slightly thicker weight, so they'll just
Okay.
go a bit quicker.
Okay.
Would that be alright?
Well, yeah. To cheat is fine.
Cheat. Did you hear what he just said? It takes me like 50 million hours to knit him a pair of fingering weight socks, and he just said I was cheating by
Don't be
wanting,
feetist. It's
by
not my
wanting
fault. I've
to
got
use
big feet.
sport weight. Because I was thinking if I use Opal 6-ply and maybe a 2.75mm or 3mm, I could cast on 64 and that would probably be enough for you. So that was my thinking anyway. So I love those, and it washed up lovely. Came out lovely, the yarn. So they're yours.
Thank you very much.
Aww,
And you have something
that's
else, don't you?
nice. The last thing,
Patrons will have seen this yesterday in the
Yes.
very last happy knitting.
I finished my half hap. I can't believe it. Can you believe all these things I've finished? Are you all like keeling over with shock?
Yes.
So here it is. And I did do what I said I was going to do. I didn't put on the lace border, but it's come out huge. So actually I'm glad I didn't. So here it is. I don't even know. Is it on screen?
Yes.
Can't even see it.
Go a bit
So-
to the left.
To my left.
Not stage left.
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to look
Stage
through.
left, darling.
I'm
Stage
trying
left.
to look through the lace.
Yeah, we can see. Look,
to whether
everyone
you
can
can
see
see it.
Yes.
So as you can see, all I did to finish it off was I ended it basically after you do those. I think it's Pattern said to do 2 garter ridges, I believe. I added a third one just to finish it off a bit more, and then just finished off as the pattern told you to finish off, but without that lace section. And it's there I am. It's really big. I mean, I'll put my hands at the 2 ends. That's my wingspan, and you can see it's more than my wingspan. And it weighed just over 150 grams altogether. So I think I worked that out to about 580 yards of a 4-ply, but it's more of a sport weight. So, it's a really good size. I mean, I would probably wear... I always struggle, and I said this to Dan, because, triangular shawls... I mean, look, I'll stand up. It comes down to, below my waist. And I always wear my shawls, neckerchief style, or whatever that style is called. But I just thought if I crinkle that up like that, and then wrap it and around, I'm trying to... Oh, it doesn't look right, does it? But
well, it's close to looking right. You get the idea.
Kind of get the idea. It's so soft and snuggly and lovely. Really, really lovely. So I will definitely wear this, and it'll be a brilliant winter shawl. The pattern was great. Really enjoyed knitting it. So a success all round, really.
That is not a Christmas gift.
No, it's not.
So none of the things are going to add to your tally.
It's terrible, isn't it? Maybe it could be a Christmas gift to myself.
So you're going to wrap it up, stick it into the tree?
Maybe I will. Would that work? Is that allowed?
Well, yeah.
I can't do that, can I?
You can knit for yourself, can't you?
I suppose.
Of course you can.
I love the colours. It was just perfect how I wanted it. Aren't those colours just lovely? Oh, so nice. Highly recommend the pattern. Absolutely would. I would knit it again. Lovely, lovely pattern.
So what we've established there is no points are added to your tally. So the scores
I
remain.
finished 5 things.
5-4.
And none of... Oh, what is that all about?
Sounds good to me.
It's not good, is it?
Next week, for Nestle with Kate, it will be a brand new What's in Your Oven. So that'll be live on our Patreon page on Thursday next week.
It's a bake along with Kay.
It absolutely is a bake along with Kay. Very excited. It's one of my favourite things in the whole world.
I know.
With one of the heirlooms passed down from my great-great-granny.
Yes.
So I think it's time now for the very last, for 2016, What's in Your Sweetie Jar. It will come back sometime next year, but we've established that our favourite sweets that we've tasted so far have come from Japan.
They have.
But we've only tried just a couple of things. We need to get to the bottom of it. We need to find out if Japan do make the world's best sweets. So to do that, we need boots on the ground.
We do.
But to get boots on the ground, we've got to go to Japan. So shall we go? What's in your sweetie jar? Look at her.
Yummy.
Yay! She's back. Yes, it is, of course. Now, I don't want to...
Sophia.
Yeah, I know her first name. I didn't want to pronounce her second name wrong. Did you just say it Lessard?
Lessard.
Lessard.
Lassard.
Sorry.
Lassard.
Lessard. I'm sorry. What a fool. I didn't want to get it wrong.
No, everyone. Everyone does it.
She's so mean to me. She's so mean to me. Get rid of her. Look, we need a new presenter. You and me, Sophia.
Honestly.
You and me against the world. Yes.
I'll rib him for that later.
Yeah.
So yes, it's Sophia. We are in Japan.
We are.
And we're going to try a range of things, aren't we?
Yes.
I think we should dive straight in there and try the first thing that you think would be a good thing to try. Okay.
And that would be...
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
right here.
Yay.
Yes. Here they are. I'll get it the right way up. So,
But it says soup pie haichu, and it is lemon flavored sour haichu, which is an extremely popular candy here in Japan.
come on.
And we've had... What flavour of these have we had?
I think we had was it a strawberry or a raspberry that we had?
You had strawberry.
Strawberry.
Right.
And we loved it.
And we were impressed. Now, I read something about
And
these.
I love the little fellas on the package. Do you know, on
Yes.
the little wrappers?
Yeah.
They're so cute.
I mean, I do have to say, one of the things that's impressed me so much with Japanese sweets is how the whole experience is thought of.
Yeah.
The packet, the wrapper, everything is thought of. Is that common with lots of things in Japan?
Oh, completely. Everything. Really, completely. Their marketing skills are like way
Amazing.
skyrocket. Like, incredible.
And what that does, which I love, is it just sets your expectation at a level which is different to, certainly when you buy sweets in this country.
I've already unwrapped mine.
Tell us when to put it in.
Okay, ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Oh, yummy.
it's a bit...
It's
got
like
like
meringue.
It's got like a sherbet in the middle.
Oh, that's delicious. Oh, my goodness.
It's like a sherbet lemon, but in a chewy sweet. Yummy!
Sophia, did I read somewhere
I'm saving these. I love these.
that these came about because it's not seen as right to chew gum in Japan?
Yeah, it's really uncommon here. It's a really, like, you can buy gum anywhere, but people don't. It's kind of rude.
That-
This is basically edible chewing gum.
It is. That is what it's like.
So
Yeah.
it's perfect for young children.
Oh, it's yummy. Mmm.
But it's also perfect for adults too, because
Yeah, they won't last long because you love lemon, don't you?
without a doubt, Sophia, that is the nicest sweet I think I have ever eaten. That was gorgeous. Now, what would we score this?
Oh gosh, out of 5?
Yes.
Well, it's got to be a 5, I think, hasn't it? Don't you think?
What would you score this, Sophia?
Oh, me? Easily a 5. This is one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
Well, I also say 5.
I would definitely.
So we're starting on a high.
And can you get these? I think you can get these in the US, can you?
Yeah, you can get them, especially, I know on the US Amazon for definite. The regular flavors, I think it's a bit harder to get the lemon, this kind of special offshoot of it. Like, you can get grape and strawberry really easily. Yeah.
Right.
And we've got those there, haven't we?
My advice, people, is get some of these now, or well, any high chews you can get your hands on and try them, because I think you're going to like them. Sophia, how did you end up in Japan?
So that's a bit of a accidental, crazy turn of events. My intention was never to end up anywhere besides the US. Especially Japan was not on the radar in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And so when I was 15 at the time, and my best friend and I were having a joking conversation with our principal about how, man, we'd love to go somewhere like Japan someday. And so he looks at us and he goes, girls, you can do an exchange program. And so the two of us were like 15, we're like, our parents wouldn't let us do that. And they did.
And how long ago was that?
So 8 years ago.
So
Wow.
in the course of 8 years, your life has it's changed
180.
so much.
Completely.
Where is home in America?
My home is in Massachusetts, in a nice little small, really old town, actually. A lot of the houses are from like the 1600s. They all have like the
Wow.
plaques on them that says who originally built it
Wow.
and what year. A really beautiful historic town, and that's where my parents are currently residing.
And how far is that town from Worcester?
Not super far. I don't think I could give you a specific time.
The reason
my parents
why-
are probably yelling at me.
The reason why I say that is I've
Yes.
been to Worcester, Massachusetts.
Oh gosh.
When I was 12, I was in a choir. I was in the Minster Choir based out of York in the UK, and we went on a tour of America. And we went all over America singing. And one of the places we went to, and the place that I remember the most and I loved the most, was Worcester, Massachusetts. How big is Massachusetts as a state?
For the U.S., pretty average size. It's not like
So huge then.
it's not Texas. Well,
not
yeah, I mean, I
Texas.
suppose compared to it's not like Texas big.
Right,
It's a pretty average size
right.
for a state.
Where are you now? What's your biggest city that you're close to?
The biggest city I'm close to is Fukuoka.
Whereabouts on Japan is it?
Right?
I'll know.
Whereabouts?
Yes. So this is Japan.
Yes.
I'm down here.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
So I'm the
with you.
southernmost point of main Japan.
Yeah.
Mainland Japan.
Right.
The only thing more southern than me is Okinawa.
What is it that you're doing in Japan?
I am what's called an ALT. It stands for Assistant Language Teacher. So I work at a public middle school as the assistant English language teacher. So I work as a normal teacher, basically, I do what's called team teaching. So myself and a trained Japanese teacher teach kids English on a daily basis.
From your knowledge of American education, how different are Japanese kids to American kids at that age?
Very different.
Right.
Yeah, they're very. There's a lot more shyness actually to kids this age in Japan. If you call on them in class, you'll either get one of two responses. You'll get the kids that are the goofballs in class who are over the top and they'll like actually scream the answer very literally. And then you'll get the kids that will stand there and even while their friends are whispering the answer to them, they'll be too like horrified to say anything.
Aww.
So the vast majority are very nervous at this age.
Right.
I think it's time to try something else. What
Alright,
else?
excellent.
What else shall we try?
How about this?
Ooh,
Oh.
ooh. Okay.
So hold it here. Oh, look.
So tell us what this is.
So this is a kind of cookie.
Right.
Oh, right.
And it's called baked creme brulee.
Okay.
And it is a seasonal version of this cookie.
And
Right.
again,
So this
the
is-
packaging is fabulous, isn't it?
Ooh.
Gosh, it
Gosh, they
smells.
smell strong.
Oh, don't they smell
Yeah, oh yeah.
strong?
So these are supposed to taste, in theory, I've never tried these before because they're seasonal,
Oh, you haven't?
like creme brulee.
It smells like creme brulee.
All right, let's do it on the count of three.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, it's creamy inside.
Mm.
Oh, I didn't expect that.
That has the texture of cold creme brulee.
Oh, they're lovely. Can I have another?
I told you would like creme brulees. What do you think, Sophia?
Well, this is the reason I buy the seasonal items right here. Because that was far better than I expected it to be.
You know, I didn't know what... I thought it was going to be something big was going to appear. That you maybe had to break bits off. But no, I mean, it's
No,
a
we
lovely,
went for it.
gorgeous little tray. I mean, that would be stunning with coffee.
Oh, it would. You haven't got one.
Oh,
These are very different things. Very
Oh,
different
yeah.
things. But they're both a similar experience, aren't they? Because the packaging's wonderful. How it looks when you get it is surprising. And the
cute.
taste is bang on. So I'll go
Yummy.
first this time.
Oh, you go first. What do you score it?
I would go for these, just
Right.
slightly quicker than those.
Yeah, because you're more of a sweet person.
So
aren't
I
you?
would go 4.5.
I'd probably agree. But
Okay.
I would probably go for this first.
So why don't you give it a 5?
And then the sweet. I don't know, but you always think there's something more, don't you, out
Right.
there? There's gonna be a 5.
Not when you're eating these, you don't.
But they are yummy. They're so yummy.
So you're going 4.5 as well.
I'd go. I'll agree with that.
Sophia, you can be controversial. You know, give it whatever score you think.
because this is something that I'm actually debating buying more of later, I'm going to give this a 5.
Yeah. I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect that. So.
Now we mentioned coffee there. Is coffee a popular drink in Japan?
Yes.
Right.
Very much so.
So
We have 2 coffee machines in the teacher's office.
do you have like Starbucks and
Yes.
and
But they have different flavors.
right? And sadly, that's not something that you can go and get us and send us.
No.
No, I can't. I wish.
If you're recognising Sophia's face, it may be because you've seen her mum before. Because your mum does a
Oh, yes.
podcast, doesn't she?
Yes, she is.
And what's her
She
podcast
certainly
called?
is. It's called Knitting by the Sea.
And is that because you live by the sea?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know this. Not only does your mum do a podcast, but you do loads. Tell us about all the things you do.
So I have a YouTube channel, basically just about my life in Japan. I like to be able to get the word out about Japan more. I think I'm really passionate about Japan and living in Japan and everything about this crazy place. So I have a channel where I basically do like 5 to 10 minute videos, either me trying crazy flavored things like this, or going out and about. Yeah, so I really like just making videos about Japan and just sharing the experience, really.
I love watching them.
You should definitely check it out. But not only should you check it out because it's great to see and experience the culture of Japan, you're also a knitter.
I am.
You need to...
Very.
Do you have anything you could show us that you've knitted recently? Yeah. Sophia, what's on your needles? Yes!
You'd never guess! It's a blanket!
Yay! Hold it up so we can see it really close. Look at that!
I love the colours.
Look at that! That looks so great!
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm actually doing what you've been doing, Kay. So I'm going to do a bunch of squares like this and then border it all in one solid colour.
Yeah, brilliant.
So that looks like a lovely purple there.
What yarn is that? Is it two different yarns?
Yeah, it's 2 different yarns, so it's scraps. So one of these is knit picks.
Right.
And the other is...
Is it West Yorkshire Spinners?
Yes.
I
yes.
thought I recognised it.
Yeah, my mom actually, she sends me all of her scrap yarn from socks. So that's what this is being made out of.
Wow. It looks lovely. The colours are perfect for October as well. It's quite Halloweeny, isn't it?
Yes, that's what I'm like totally in the Halloween mood, so I wanted to do like fall.
So whilst we've probably got time for one more thing to try. So whilst you're deciding on that, how did you start knitting? Did your mum show you or?
She did. She taught me when I was really little how to knit because she's been knitting since she was a kid. And she taught me how to knit. And originally, you know, I couldn't get through a scarf. You know, I was a kid. I didn't want to sit there. I was like, ah. And then I picked it up again when I was a senior in high school because we had an exchange student from Japan living with us, and she wanted to learn. And because she wanted to learn, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to start doing it again too. And so that's where it became an addiction, and the rest is history.
And do people
knitting ever since?
Do a lot of people knit in Japan?
It is massive here. Actually,
is
it is massive. One of my closest friends, probably my best friend out of all of the teachers I work with, she is an avid knitter.
That's really interesting. I thought you were going to say the opposite, and that it wasn't.
It's massive. Yeah. She shares all of her knitting magazines with me. They have stores and, you know, and they have a completely different pattern system. Right. It's all charts. Right. Everything is charts.
It's charts.
What about the yarn? Do they have like a big yarn industry?
I'd say it's smaller than other countries. There are a lot more of plant fibers than animal fibers. It's much more cotton-based yarn. But there's also a big, they're a small company called Amidisu, and they actually import tons of Endy dyers so that you can get Endy dyed yarn here.
And are there any like real go-to that everyone really wants?
Cotton's probably the biggest because of the humidity levels.
I was going to say, it's very hot, isn't it? So, yeah.
Extremely, yes. Yeah. Like, it's mid-October.
And is it boiling?
Still like 28 degrees out.
Wow.
Celsius. Yeah.
Oh.
Let's try one more thing.
All right, excellent. I'm glad I saved this one then, because I feel like this will be the perfect finale. It's the Kit Kat.
Oh, the Kit Kat. These are so tiny, aren't they?
Japan has hundreds of flavors of Kit Kats.
It's green.
So this is green tea flavored.
That's bananas.
I'll have a little bit.
It's not bananas.
Green tea flavoured, right?
This is green tea flavoured. They have hundreds of flavors, including purple potato.
And is that purple?
Yes, it's purple. I actually have a bag in the kitchen right now, I have a bag of sake flavored Kit Kats.
What?
Gosh, sake.
Sake, Japanese alcohol.
I thought you
flavored Kit Kats.
I thought you said sockhead.
I have yarn flavored sake.
Ooh, it's a bit sheepy. Yeah.
I love the colour. It's a beautiful colour, isn't it?
Yeah. I do have to say, Sophia, that for the first time, I am a little nervous. The funny thing is, to the people at home, they won't be able to see what I'm holding.
Oh, because it's green screen.
So hold yours up. Hold yours up.
If you can't see it, this is what it looks like.
That's hilarious. It will be literally, I'm holding nothing.
That's so funny.
Okay. Should we do this?
All right, let's do this. 3,
yeah.
2,
yeah.
1.
Oh. Ooh. I'm getting a soily thing going on.
It's a bit bitter in the back.
Yeah. No, I'm getting that now. Oh, yeah.
Powdered green tea.
That to me, right, that tastes like I've just eaten some grass.
It's earthy.
Yes, that's it.
Isn't it?
I think the flavour of the green tea combined with the biscuit on the inside gives it that same... And Kay knows what she's talking about when she says earthy, because didn't you used to eat soil when you were young?
I did not eat soil.
I thought your mum said you used to go out into the garden.
I used to like eating, well, not eating gravel, but I used to like sucking on gravel.
Oh.
Don't ask.
Do not try that at home.
It explains a lot of things, really, doesn't it? Like, about why I'm like I am. But yeah.
That I have to say, that is an acquired taste. I'm so glad
I didn't mind it.
that you included something like this. Because that is an experience.
Yes.
And perhaps that is very Japanese, that. Is that...
It's so the flavor is 100% Japanese, because the flavor they use is matcha, which is the Japanese powdered green tea that you have to like whisk to make it into a tea. It's a more bitter flavor, but extremely popular here. Not extremely popular with me. I prefer the sweet flavors.
Well, that, I think, as you said, that was a really good thing to finish on. And we need to give it a score.
Oh.
Now, we now need to start thinking about some of the truly awful things that we've had. And that doesn't even come close.
No, it doesn't. No.
So, what would you give it?
2.5 then.
I'm with you all the way. Sophia, what do you think?
Completely the same.
2.5 it is then. So actually, as things go...
If that's the worst, at 2.5,
I would try it.
Then...
Folks, forget the opportunity to try it. Do try it, because it's not offensive, and it is an experience. And that's what life's all about.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sophia, this has been the best.
Oh, how lovely! Like a little tea party.
I cannot thank you for all the things, folks. We need to give us such a thank you, because the favourite places to knit was just immense, and to give us the opportunity to do a favourite place to knit in Japan was just the best thing ever. It is the type of place I wish we have, as everyone knows, we have a real problem. We have a real anxiety issue with travel. We're getting better all the time.
Yeah.
But getting on a plane at the moment would still be a bridge too far for us.
It's a long way, isn't it? But I did say, after watching I was watching all your little videos. I came away and I said to Dan, I really want to go to Japan.
And that's an amazing thing, Sophia. It really is. Yeah.
It looks absolutely fascinating.
Thank you so much, Sophia.
Yay!
Absolutely.
And folks, you've got to check out Sophia's YouTube channel. I'll stick a link in the show notes below. Just tell everyone again what your channel's called on YouTube.
So my channel is that redhead THATR 3D HEAD.
Cool. So this has been the best ever, and this actually it is the last because there's no way that we could better this.
No.
So we will be back in 2017 with more What's in Your Sweetie Jar. Yeah. But returning next episode will be What's on Your TV. Oh. And the reason why it's returning, Sophia, is it's getting close to Christmas. Yes. And we need to get ready for What's on Your Christmas TV.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you like watching cheesy, really low-budget Christmas movies?
Yes. Yes.
We all
100%.
love it.
Oh yeah, I could really, in America, ABC Family does 25 Days of Christmas, and I will just sit there for hours.
That's so great. Yeah. So let's say a final thanks to Sophia, and I think now, unfortunately, that means it's going to be time for the Endy Bits. What a legend!
Oh, I love Sophia.
Sophia, thank you so much. She was amazing last episode in our favourite place to knit in Japan, and to agree to come back and do that just superb What's in Your Sweetie Jar, but also to sit down and talk to someone. Yeah. But Sophia, thank you so much. And we have successfully established that Japan do make rather exceptional sweeties. I love those lemon.
Oh yeah, you
crunchy.
ate all those.
No. There's still some.
Oh, there's still some left.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Oh yes.
Okay.
I've not.
Thought you'd eaten them all.
No. It's been an amazing show so far.
Wow, we've had so many things.
But it's unfortunately now time for the Endy Bits.
Endy Bits. But this is a nice Endy Bits, I hope.
I hope so.
I hope they're always nice Endy Bits. We were talking about, the impending festive season and knitting Christmas things, and I've mentioned before I wanted to do a tree trimming cast on. Can you remember? And I've thought a bit more about this, and I've looked at the calendar, and I wanted to let you know when I'll be casting on and when we'll be putting our tree up and trimming, and I'm going to be casting on because I thought you might want to cast on with me if by chance, I'm sure there must be some of you out there that are going to put your tree up on the same day as that
But
we
even
are.
if you're not, you can still cast on.
Even if you're not, you can still cast on, because it'll be round that time, won't it?
Yeah.
We're going to put our tree up on the 3rd of December. It's a Saturday. This is my tree trimming cast on yarn. I showed you before. It's lovely fondant fibre on her spangle base, and it's vintage fairy lights.
Why don't people, though...
Look at that yarn. Oh my goodness.
I was just
lovely.
thinking, though...
Deb, I love that yarn.
People could join in with you on that date, but also, if you put your tree up before then,
you can
cast on and tag it.
Yeah, you can just, you can cast on
When
whenever
you
you
put
want.
your decorations up.
So, if you want to tag it on Instagram, you can just hashtag tree trimming cast on. Or BB, Bakery Bears it should be, should it? Or,
Yeah, hashtag it BB tree trimming cast on.
Tree trimming cast on. And, I'll put a post up just showing my yarn with that hashtag. And then, you'll be able to find it. So I'm super excited. I don't know what I'm going to cast on yet. It'll either be socks or a sock head, I think. I just want something relaxing and beautiful, and it will be in this yarn. It's just gorgeous. I would. Who else got a skein of this?
And
I'm
that's
so
a guaranteed
excited.
point for your total there as well.
Will it be?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Will it?
Yeah.
Right.
Of course it is.
All
A
right.
tree trimming cast on.
It
Bakery
should
Bears
count.
handmade Christmas.
It should count, shouldn't
Of course
it?
it counts.
I think it should count.
There's lots of things in the thread actually. It's
yeah, I
just
know.
so cool.
So many.
I go on there and
You
I can
know,
hear
it's
Christmas
brilliant.
music in my head.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm going to be doing an Etsy shop update, a yarn update, on this Saturday. So if you're watching this straight away, then, hopefully you'll catch it before. But I will put a post on Instagram, sometime today probably, just to let you all know. So it's Saturday, 12th of November, 4 p.m. GMT. We're now on GMT because
Thank goodness.
the clocks have changed.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show you a few of the yarns. It's not all of them because some is still drying. It's terrible drying weather. I've done some Christmas inspired yarns. I thought that would be nice. And I've got 3 colourways. I think there's 3. There might be another one that's inspired by Muppet's Christmas Carol. So that's been my inspiration. So I just wanted to quickly show you those. The first one, this is dyed on 2 different bases and it looks slightly different on the 2 bases. So this one is called You're Doomed, Scrooge. Do you know when Marley and Marley are singing the song to Scrooge, and that's, one of the lines from it. So this is You're Doomed, Scrooge. So it's shades of grey and a darker sort of gunmetal, I think the colour's called, grey, with speckles. And this, it's on 2 different bases and it's dyed slightly differently on each of the bases. This one's a bronze stellina and it looks, before it's dyed, it looks pale grey. So that's retained, I think. That's why this one looks slightly different to this one. It looks sort of deeper. And this one's a BFL. So there'll be some of those. You're doomed, Scrooge.
You're
doomed for all time. I know, I wanted to sing it. And then this one, oh my goodness, I'm in love with this one. There's a scene where Emily Cratchit, who is played by Miss Piggy, is cooking in the house and she's like snaffling all the chestnuts and the children are like, mother, this be like that, those are supposed to be for whatever, and she's like, I'm just testing them. And I kept thinking about that scene. So this one is called The Chestnut Thief. Oh my goodness, I love this so much. So it's shades of piggy pink and this kind of lavenderish, periwinkle-ish. Oh, I just love how that came out, with then speckles of a chestnut colour on top. And again, I've got quite a few skeins of this, and it's on various bases, and there's some DK in there
Looks
as well.
like a dress covered in chestnut crumbs.
It kind of does, doesn't it? This one's an MCN, this one's a BFL, and then I've got some DK Merino as well. Oh, and I just absolutely love how that one came out. And then this one is called Flaming Hot Goose. Do you know, again, there's a scene where Rizzo the rat is on top of the chimney pots and he falls down and he lands on a goose that's cooking on the fire. So this one, and again, I absolutely love how this one came out. This is called Flaming Hot Goose. So it's all those colours of a fire, the reds and the golds and the burning logs with kind of this undertone of a goose colour. Do you know, the kind of turkey-ish bronzed colour? That one is called Flaming Hot Goose, and again it's on, I only did a couple of these actually because I was just testing it, but we've got a bronze stellina and a BFL. So there's that one. There is a couple of other Christmassy colourways, and then this one is non-Christmassy, but I wanted to just show you. And I just had an urge to dye up pink because, you know, I get these urges. So I dyed this one. Oh, it's so lovely. And I've called this Sherlock Pink because it's inspired by our lovely friend Sarah, who is Sherlock Knits on Instagram. And she loves pink. So I was thinking about her the whole time. So this is Sherlock Pink. It's not quite so neon. The screen's kind of blowing it out a bit. But there'll be a few skeins of those as well. And there's some others too. That'll be going as the update this Saturday. I will have another update before the end of November. I'll be doing some patron yarn. And I'll also have another update of those Christmas colourways. And I'll try and do more for the next one. Because the next update will be towards the end of November. And then I won't be dyeing in December. Because I just don't post anything in December. Because mail is just terrible in December. So...
all done.
there we go.
All done?
Yes.
Cool. So that's the end of episode 62. A momentous episode.
Oh, it has
We've
been.
launched the new Bakery Best Treasure Hunt,
Yeah.
which we've loved. Head over to the thread and help us out with the clue. And we're looking forward to taking you to so many little places which we never could have on a Favourite Places to Knit because they're just too small to do a whole programme on. But now with the treasure hunt, we can totally go there, do a task or two, and then move on to somewhere new. The next 2 weeks is when it gets so excited. I'm getting all worked up just thinking about it. Folks, by the time the next podcast episode comes out, the trailer for the Bakery Bears Advent Calendar 2016 will have gone live. If you remember last year, we put it live on Thanksgiving in America, and we'll be doing the same this year. And the difference between last year's Advent Calendar and this year's Advent Calendar is this year we've had time to plan it.
Yeah.
Last year, it was very
We
much...
decided to do it fairly late on in the year last year.
October,
didn't we?
the end of October.
Yeah.
This year we actually started filming this year's Advent Calendar in January this year.
We did, yeah.
But we have a few little tricks up our sleeve for this one, and we can't wait to show you. For patrons as well, there's the What's in Your Oven coming up, and there's the end of the heart tutorial, and the start of the cardigan, and so much going on. It's
such a lot.
It's so Christmassy.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. We feel like it was packed full of different things.
Totally was. But with 5 What's Off Your Needles, and how many new cast ons did you have?
3.
That's quite an achievement. So congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Do you think she should have an additional Bakery Bears handmade Christmas point just for the amount? No, I agree. No one can say
yes.
I didn't offer.
So mean.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Who's sitting and knitting? It's Dan and Kay, the bakery bears. Enthusiasm's not quitting for Dan and Kay, the bakery bears. They'll take you to fabulous places of which they're favorites they'll share. You better buy a pattern and get yourself a bakery bear. You'll find yourself in a castle while watching the bakery bears. It never feels like a hassle to sit and watch the bakery bears. What's on your shelf or what's in